continue to take pride and learn from Asa Mahan's leadership today. Years of commitment to harnessing the power of creativity, ingenuity, community, and academic excellence.
I believe that if you get your degree, the world is going to feel like it's shrinking.
Two unlikely opponents in unfamiliar territory. It's a Monday afternoon showdown between the Aurora University Spartans and the Bowdoin College Polar Bears. Hello everyone, Alex Herman, joined alongside by Matt Kibbe right here at the Arrington Ice Arena. Happy to have you all join us here this afternoon. This is going to be a fun one. First time meeting between these two teams. They've never seen each other before. Aurora yesterday playing our Bulldogs. Unfortunately could not come up with the win. They were up by a lot, had a little bit of a strange game, and now we're here. So they've got another game in less than 24 hours. A lot to expect.
Should be really excited, especially if you're Bowdoin. This is a good chance to help boost yourself up, especially in those pairwise rankings. You're going to go up against the number 5 team in the country and the number 7 team in the country in Adrian tomorrow. These are two important games for Bowdoin. Aurora, a good chance to bounce back and get back into conference play after this one.
Absolutely, and let's talk about yesterday just for a couple of moments. Aurora seemed like they had the advantage for a lot of the start of the game. They went into the second period with a 2-0 lead, scored an early goal to make it 3-0, and the Bulldogs came back and scored 5 unanswered and controlled the game from there. Wound up as a 6-4 final. It just seemed like, for whatever reason, they had panicked a little bit, got a little shaky, and then from there, they lost control.
If you're Coach Bloomingberg for the Aurora Spartans, the message that you have today is forget those 40 or those 20 minutes. You played a really solid 40 minutes between the first and third period. That middle part of the game, not your best work. You could argue that's probably the worst 20 minutes they've played all season long. Now they have a chance to bounce back, figure out their momentum. They're playing a really good Bowdoin team, so they're going to be challenged offensively. They get a chance to now bounce back and play a full 60.
Absolutely. Bowdoin College at this point in the season, 5-3-0 on the year. They don't have as many games played as some of the other teams across the country just because of their conference. But they're 4th in the NESCAC. They're doing pretty well for themselves. And they have some big wins on the year. At one point, they beat Williams College 2-1 in overtime. They beat Endicott 3-2 in overtime, which at one point 2 seasons ago, Endicott was a Frozen Four team. That's a really big win, and also Tufts as well.
Don't be surprised if you see this Bowdoin team come out flying and aggressive on all cylinders. That's how they have to play. They play up in New England. That's a tough area to play, so you're going to have to come into this one and kind of be on your A game.
Exciting game for sure. It's Bowdoin College and Aurora University. Alex Herman and Matt Kibbe, happy to have you with us. National anthem and the starting lineups being read. We'll take a quick step aside and be back for Puck Drop. You're watching NCAA hockey on ACTV.
This evening, you join the select company of those who hold a baccalaureate degree or a master's degree. You join a privileged group of individuals, a minority of persons in this country, and an even smaller fraction of people around the world who have had both the opportunity to pursue higher education and the intelligence, discipline, and determination to reach graduation day. You should be very proud of your achievement.
People prefer the safety of knowing what to expect each day and the comfort that comes with what we feel is normal in our lives. However, be brave, bold, dare to step outside of your comfort zone when situations present themselves. You never know how your life may change for the better. To the December 2023 graduates of Adrian College, congratulations on all of your achievements. Be bold in the next stage of your lives and reap the rewards of opportunities that are presented to you.
Back inside the Arrington Ice Arena, day 2 of this weekend showcase. Today, 2 unfamiliar opponents. It's Bowdoin College and Aurora University right here at the AIA. Alex Herman and Matt Kibbe, happy to have you all join us here this afternoon, whether you be a Bowdoin fan or Aurora from near and far. And you look to our left, a couple of well-traveled Bowdoin fans showing up for their Polar Bears here today, and this is going to be an interesting one for sure. Everybody will head back to their benches as we await opening puck drop. Aurora playing yesterday, of course, against Adrian College, dropped that matchup by a score of 6-4 off a late Patrick Saney empty net goal. And what will be in store for us today? Out of conference for both of these two squads, the NESCAC in New England on the east coast of the country, and the mighty NCAA out here in the west. Everybody will gather up at center. 20 minutes on the score clock. Puck is dropped, and we are underway from the AIA. This is shoved into deep Polar Bears zone as Gilligan will retrieve it. There's a backhand shovel that'll have up ice from Wheeler. So we'll travel back to the Polar Bear blue line as Gilligan tried to get it out. He couldn't. There's an arm up on the play already. 24 seconds in. There's a penalty being called. And it looks like it's going to go against the Polar Bears. You had number 17 and Landry Schmuck go to the box at first. But it is now appearing Schmuck as well as Gilligan both being sent to the box.
So we're going to have offsetting minors here, it looks like. They got tied up in the corner. I guess you could really call it interference on both guys. I didn't get a chance to see the sign. If we have the replay, I'd love to see it here. You can see it in the corner from our awesome top cam operator, Forrest Veneer. It's right back here. They go after the puck, it goes away, and then they stay tied up with each other. And a little extracurriculars, 5 and 17, and white in the black, and that's what leads to the 2 minutes.
So no power play opportunity for either side, but we'll have some, looks like we'll remain 5-on-5 as both of those were offset. Oh, did Aurora get 2? Looks
so it
like
might have been a double minor here on Aurora.
Yeah. All right, so my mistake there. Early power play chance now for the Polar Bears. Starting things off, that's Justin Wright in the far side corner. There's a D-to-D pass up at the top. Quick shot. Musatelli gets it. And a good rip from Gabe Schipper.
So I think you get the interference called for both of them. That's the offset, and then taking the helmet off is that extra. So unnecessary roughness, I'm assuming, is going to be the call here. That's what leads to the double minor. Polar Bears get the power play.
Take the face-off on the far left side. Controlling up top is Barbaro. Receives it right back. Slap shot, tipped in front. Musatelli with the save. And he had to play a quick ground ball there, and a fantastic stop.
Bowdoin likes to work from the outside in a very typical power play, especially in the Division III level, but they work from the outside. They have the screen man in front. You're going to see a lot of tested shots, and they're trying to get the tip in to find the back of the net and take an early 1-0 lead.
20% on the year is the power play percentage for the Polar Bears, so 5 for 25. And on the other side, the PK for Aurora at 71% has been their struggle definitely this season.
Especially yesterday.
Yeah.
Gave up 3 power play goals to the Bulldogs in that second period, so really need to dial it in here.
3 on 5 yesterday, and Aurora got one back. Here's a quick chance in front, trying to let a shot go was Chase Schmidt, but kept empty-handed as this redirects back towards the point. Here come the Polar Bears. Stretch feed is picked off and picked up by Wright. Holding on to the far side wall. Heading down low, now that's Wheeler. Wheeler toying with it underneath the red line, shovels it out to the left side, now back to the center point. Waiting there is Barbaro, quick shot. The rebound was loose, they couldn't put it home, but a great glove play by Wheeler. Top of the circle, back to Wheeler, winds up, blocked in front, sliding down there, and they score! Off the rebound, Will Killerin. A power play goal for the Polar Bears. And they've opened it up. Or rather, that might have been Gabe Schipper.
You can see it. It's all the movement. They want to work from the right side and take the shot. Rebounds, we just talked about it. It was a clean shot using the pad as a pass, and that's where you see the likes of Gabe Schipper put it into the back of the net. That's how you score on the power play. That's a good puck movement, creating chances and finding the back of the net.
Minute and 30 in just barely, and the Polar Bears have broken the seal against a high-ranked opponent in Aurora University. And the Spartans will be the team to play catch-up today. Not like yesterday when they really blew the door open against the Bulldogs at first. But 3 shots on goal already, all belonging to Bowdoin College. A minute and 50 seconds into this one. 1-0 our score. Gabe Schipper with the power play marker.
Similar feel to yesterday's game with Aurora going up, so now they're on the opposite end of that.
Quickly to this puck is Finnegan Burke. They'll get back to it. It's scooted off the board by Serapak. Now at the center Bruiser logo, a dump in by Will Killerin. 1-on-1 in the corner, Serapak gets tied up there. It's gloved down by Killerin, can't keep it in, so he tries to force it back down low, and on the second attempt, it's Matty Weir. Controlling is Santa Lucia. Back to the middle for Holiday. Now some speed for the Spartans. They work the right side wing. Quickly escorted out. As almost a costly turnover there at the center ice red line. And Aurora will dump this in. Out of the crease to stop it is Jacob Osborne as he left it behind him. Right side point shot there is deflected as it's skyhooked in the air. A quick pickup from Sedlasek. His shot goes wide of the glove. Now possessing outwards, a glove down by Kirk. Redistribution to Diaz, they'll dump it in, deja vu. As it's Osborne once again, almost coughed it up. Quick turnover there for Kirk. Works it to the right hash mark. Swinging around is Sedlasek. They look for a passing lane in the middle, come up with nothing. Now it's Will Rice along the boards. Pull-up move from Jack Moore. Can't get it out. And it looks like too many men will be called against Bowdoin, and they're in disbelief.
Just an untimely change for Bowdoin, and Aurora made them touch the puck after they played it, and that's going to give you an extra advantage. You got to find every crevice you can in games like this where you don't exactly know your opponent. You can do all the scouting, but you really don't know anything until you see him on the ice.
So now the Spartans will get a power play chance early on in this frame. We've already seen 2 penalties, just about 3.5 in. Serving that penalty will be the Polar Bears' number 21, Aiden Lyons.
So officials having a discussion about whether remember that double minor, it's still serving that penalty, still waiting here. He's got to wait till I think about the 16th minute before he can actually come out.
Spartans power play operating at a 23.2% conversion rate so far this season. And that's really seemed to be about the average for a lot of these teams countrywide. Yeah. With the level of play increasing and junior hockey really taking off. A lot of high caliber talent.
Well, point this out, Alex, the Bowdoin Polar Bears, they really don't take a whole lot of penalties. Only 36 coming into this game. That's their 37th penalty. You can argue maybe it wasn't even their fault. They were just in the midst of a change.
Power play starting, 10 seconds gone. On the left circle, there's a quick dish. They send it back to the top, and Santa Lucia goes for a rip there, in and out of the glove of Osborne. Came up with the stop, his first of the afternoon.
Osborne's going to be really tested here from Aurora. They're really aggressive on the power play. They like to move the puck, get in on the attack, and put shots on goal. They're of the mindset that if you shoot more, you're going to score more.
Mathis Bedard rips it around the half wall. As it rotates left to right, he'll get it right back and give it to his captain in Santa Lucia. And there's a turnover. Wojciechowski on a breakaway, shorthanded. Wojciechowski stopped, and it's held onto. Great stop by Jacob Musatelli.
That was P.J. Neal who took it away from the captain at the blue line, number 7 in black. Just a mishandle of the puck, and then he goes right in on it, finds the open lane, takes a clean shot, kind of got tripped up. Could be an argument of a penalty there, but doesn't get called. Will play on. Good job there. Kill off the time more so than anything. That's how you want to play. If you're going to step up at the blue line on a defenseman on the power play, that's how you got to do it. You got to make them think a little bit more.
About a minute gone here in the Spartan power play. Looking to get something working as they rush in fast. Ackle's feet taken out from under him. No call there as he'll recover, and the Polar Bears will make a change. Heading back with steam. There's a quick move by Schmuck. Gets neutralized and can't get the entry. Ackles dump in, floats to the right corner. Everybody comes together as it's spun around the boards. Quickly is Schmuck trying to break it free. Now chasing after it is Schmidt. Schmidt goes to the right point. Now back for Ackle. Got to watch out for his shot. There's a wrister off the stick of Diaz as it deflected into the netting.
Bowdoin's making it really hard for Aurora here on this power play. They've stepped up to the blue line, which you're not used to often seeing. So a lot of teams will they'll step up, but then they'll fall back immediately. Not Bowdoin. They're staying at that blue line and forcing Aurora to dump it in and set up the power play that way. That was one of the rare times that Aurora was able to set it up, and then you get a blocked shot. 13
seconds left in the Bowdoin penalty before they can skate back 5-on-5. It's worked cross ice for the stick of DeCounty. Shot from the point. 2 saves made in tight by Osborne as he keeps that out, and penalty time will expire. Exiting the box is Aiden Lyons. This is sent way up into the rafters, as that might have hit a light fixture overhanging somewhere. Heard a pretty loud crash. Hopefully no broken bulbs.
New lights here at the
Absolutely.
In case you're fans of either team, put in a bunch of upgrades into Arrington Ice Rink. I know Bowdoin's used to having a nice rink to skate in. Pretty equivalent out here in good old Adrian, Michigan.
Polar Bears will win the face-off back. Swooping in, that was Finnegan Burke. And there's another penalty here. A high stick is going to be called. And I think that's going to go against Bowdoin College, and indeed it is. Gabe Schipper, who had the first goal of the game, is going to head to the sin bin now for the next 2 minutes. A big power play opportunity again for the Spartans.
If you're going to kill off a penalty, the last thing you want to do is get a penalty right after it and give them more confidence here, because they finally got a chance to see your PK look. So Aurora, I would imagine here, you're going to see some adjustments from the Spartans. 2, if you call it undisciplined penalties from Bowdoin College. Too many men, which you can't take in the first place. And whether it was an accident or not, got to stay in control of your stick, so you can't take a high sticking call. But now another 2-minute try on the special team unit for the Spartans. Had some trouble yesterday. We'll see if they fare any better, as Ackle absolutely leveled on his zone entry. Was lobbying for a call for a couple of seconds. Which Jack Gilligan getting a good body on the entry.
Clean hit, nothing you can do about that. And again, Bowdoin doing a great job.
They're keeping them to the outside, Herm.
Simple plays sometimes are most effective, and that's what you're seeing here. Some quick speed from Richard Davis. As this is back for Ackle, he'll walk the blue line. Slap shot taken from the top. That was Simon Diaz, but just didn't get enough wood on it. And again, Polar Bears will clear it down the ice. A minute left to go.
Quick changes, too. Don't want to stay on the ice for a long time.
There's a shorthanded drive. This is controlled by Wright. Gave it up along the wall and back the other way, the Spartans. Through the legs of Bedard. He'll go to pick up, has pressure behind him in Barbaro. Barbaro will tie his man up. Looking to support is Wright. And now this is back up top for Jake Code. There's a shot. Might have gotten a piece of it in front. Was Osborne. Either that or hit a defenseman. But lifted down again. Here's Musatelli. Way out of his crease. Just barely gets it around Matty Weirl. 18 seconds left. And a big hit on the boards. Chase Broda flattened. And this is going to get called for offsides. But right in front of the Polar Bear bench, a massive hit.
How often do you see a hit lead into a offsides like that? That is a big hit from Will Killeron. He killed him into the boards right there. That was a big hit from number 4 for Bowdoin.
Clean shoulder to shoulder. That's the physicality of hockey sometimes you see.
One of the hardest places to take a hit, too, right at the stanchion at the board and where the bench meet.
Absolutely. That could be scary if they were both coming back the other way. You've seen some bad hits as there's a player down right in front of the penalty box. Another big hit. And it's going to be Carson Holiday, who's really slow to get up. Also flattened on the half wall.
Here, take a look at it here. It's just a little extra on the hit. Just an awkward landing. And same one again. Killeron running around and hitting everybody he sees on the penalty kill.
Will Killeron, 6'2", 200 pounds. A solid frame for sure. Not a guy you want to run into.
A lot of muscle coming at you.
Isaac Abbott will push around the yellow dasher, and here's a burst of speed from Schipper. Gets behind. Here's Schipper in and just puts it wide on the backhand. Schipper turned on the gas there as he sends a nice hit on Eddie Paulisian. And Bowdoin College playing a physical game here. Did not have that on my bingo card today, but really taking it to the Spartans so far. And there's a big contact sent the other way.
You're going to get chippy here through the rest of the last 10 minutes.
That's the style of play sometimes that we're used to seeing the Spartans dish out. They love to be physical. There's a shot from the top of the circle, never reached the net. Picked up, and another hard shove from Jack Barbrough. As this will settle in front of the scorer's table, James Sarapak dumps it in. Rotates around the boards. Chasing now is Condor. Sarapak lays some contact on him. Almost a scary turnover right in the blue paint in front of Musatelli as he'll scoop this puck off. Shot from the half wall. 11:10 left to go here in the first period, and some extra activities after the whistle.
You know, I like the physicality. I think you're trying to – Bowdoin has a lot to prove here. They've been on the fringe of the NCAA tournament for the past couple of years. And typically that NESAC is a hard conference to win, for one, so you have to rely on that at-large. Only the 4 at-larges now, so a win against Aurora is going to set you up very nicely, and then you get Adrian tomorrow as well. So I think you're going to see that physical game, especially today, the first game after a long road trip to get out here to Adrian, and you got the best legs underneath you right now, so take advantage of them.
Bowdoin College, the 4th-ranked team in the NESCAC Conference. Unranked nationally coming into this game, so a chip on their shoulder, as you were alluding to, Matt, with a lot to gain and not a whole lot to lose. We continue on. Here's a rush from the Polar Bears. Couldn't control it, was P.J. Neal. D-to-D pass. Settles for the blade of Schultz as he sends this in. First man there is Ackel. Shoved hard by Isaac Abbott. Push now for Schultz. Lets one go. Glove save. Reaching across his body was Osborne. And he'll be awarded the whistle. Head officials here having some words with some of the players.
I think they're letting them know, hey, you guys got to tighten up here a little bit, or we're going to have to start calling stuff. Knowing the officiating crew that we have here today, they'll give you a leash. But if you take that leash too far, they are going to restrict you back, and they're going to call everything after the whistle. And you're going to see a lot more penalties that are going to just go not on. They're going to be offsetting. You're going to see the 2 minutes not go on the board. They're going to start calling them, though. So they're telling them to reel it in a little bit.
And that's the beauty of the game sometimes. Always fascinating to see how the officials can play a part in a contest and not only keeping players safe, but making sure that everybody is not doing anything they're not supposed to. And only 10 minutes in, we've seen a flurry of pretty large hits that they'll have to keep an eye on for the rest of this regulation.
If I'm correct, we got a little bit of a mix of...
There's a rebound in front. It was in the paint and couldn't pick it up. It was Chase Schmidt.
A little bit of a mix between some Division I officials that have gone up and done some Big Ten games, and then some D3 guys that have been all around the country for D3 games as well. So really good crew here today.
Stretch pass for Jackson Kirk, the left-handed shooter. will hug the near side wall. It's pitchforked off of his blade by Finnegan Burke. Pitched back, and now a fast breakout. Richard Davis sends it up for the speedster and Shipper. Davis retrieving, gets tied up. Now the Spartans the other way with some space. Jake Code will lift this all the way in. Simon Diaz right there, shoved into the wall with a prompt thud. Davis looking for the stretch pass once again, trying to hit Shipper. They seem to be going to a lot on some of those far passes. Shipper, not the tallest guy, only standing at 5'7", 170 pounds, but we've seen it already. He's got some wheels on him.
I'm going to say, you don't have to be tall to have speed. He certainly has all that. We saw it, especially he got that penalty, and he shot out of the box like a pistol and went right to the net. So if you have speed, they'll always find the puck.
Santa Lucia goes for his D partner on the right point. As it's pushed back, clanks off the glass, kept in, shot from the top of the key, just goes high and wide, tipped in front. Osborne got a piece of it. Another chance on the post, he keeps it out, still loose, they dish it back to him, and the smart play there from Jack Hepp to give it back to his netminder.
Very smart, especially coming off of the ice, needing the change and just recognizing that you can get a quick cover here if you send it over. So good job there from the Bowdoin Polar Bears and also from Osborne to recognize that and immediately cover.
Always a scary play as a goaltender when you have your own guy send
Right.
you the puck back right in front of the crease, but
that's why you got to be so locked into the game, though, to understand where the puck could be, and I think that's what you're seeing from Bowdoin. They are so locked in right now.
some moves there from Aiden Lyons. Can't shake around the defense. He'll tip it back to the right corner. Swinging a pass was Ackle, gloved down by Lispet. And it's turned over in the slot. Here's a 3-on-1 situation unfolding. Right wing is Sarapak. Towards the front, it's tipped away by Musatelli. Now a chance for Ackle. Has a speeding Bedard in the slot. They tip it in front. Osborne got a piece of it, and a follow-up with the right pad.
It almost trickled over his pad. I thought it hit the iron.
This will squirt over the blue line. It's dumped back in. Osborne will cover up. 7:44 remaining in the first period. Bowdoin College and Aurora University right here.
I didn't give our sign to get the replay on that. I should have. I should have taken another look at that because that was. I could have sworn it skipped over his padding, and if it didn't go in, he made an incredible save there. Did Osborne?
Well, the ice definitely was a little choppy yesterday.
Right.
You saw the puck bouncing around quite a lot, especially in that first period between the Bulldogs and the Spartans, but a little smoother here today. As the Polar Bears will break this puck out, they play it off the half wall. That is Justin Wright who gets to it, redistributing for Will Rice. Locked in the corner, two black sweaters, two cream sweaters. Both sides trying to dig it out. It's Aurora who will win the battle ultimately and reposition towards the slot, and a breakout by Polician. Spartans will make a full line change as holding it is Barbaro. He sends this up ice, and it's turned over for Schmidt. Schmidt backhands to the right corner. Right behind him is Burke as he was tailing, and this squeaks through the legs of Simon Diaz as he now has to retrieve it, and a turnover. Shot, stick save made by Musatelli. Just might have got the knob on it. And Will Killerin will send this back to the dot. Played in the slot. Turning with the shot there was Ballman, and he couldn't get it to go. In transition, that's Jackson Kirk heading towards the front. His backhand never was on net as he's shoved down hard by Killerin. Shifty move by Santa Lucia. They score. Osborne was taken out. And Osborne is going to argue for goalie interference.
Here's why he's not going to get it. He created the interference. He was going to get called for roughing here in front. You can see number 4. He's the one that knocks him into the goalie, so that's why you're not going to get interference here. He created the interference on his own, so the goal's going to count here when they were going to get on the delayed penalty.
Unfortunate break for the Polar Bears, but the Spartans take advantage of a goaltender down and a gaping wide cage as they have evened it up at 1. .6:15 remaining in the first period. Tie hockey game back to square root. This is dumped in by the Polar Bears. And Giuliano Santalucia being awarded the goal on our live stats, which will be his 5th goal of the season for a nice 14 points on his 24-25 campaign. Reposition to the slot. There's another shot, and just like that, the Spartans find the back of the net again. Riley DeCounty got it through traffic, was down in some pain, and now will be allowed to celebrate. And just like that, a 2-1 game for Aurora.
Let's take a look at this here on our ACTV instant replay. Right in front, Bowdoin has done a good job of keeping Aurora to the outside, but they leave the slot open, and that's just a great play from number 19 in Cream to find the back of the net, falling down too, and to get the wrister off and put it in. That, you can't ask for much more if you're Bowdoin. It felt like you did everything right, but just not enough, and Aurora gets back out to the lead that they really kind of needed here in this first period.
What was amazing too, that puck was in between the legs of Bowdoin's number 17, Richard Davis, and somehow DeCounty, with his weight behind him, kind of just flicked it towards the front and got it to go.
That's insane strength on your wrist to get enough power behind that to get it past the goaltender.
Delayed icing call is waved off. That will give time and space for number 26 and Simon Diaz to go for a rush. It's poked off the backhand of Osborne to the left corner. Some more big hitting along the wall. Back up top, Diaz with a slap shot, right toe save by Osborne. There's some quick speed from Barbro, and the Polar Bears offsides. They shot after the whistle. Barbro is going to get chased down and get a little bit of a face wash from Brockman. And I think there's going to be penalties on both sides.
Well, here's a bad mistake here from Aurora. You were going to get a power play here, but the extracurriculars at the end of that from number 20, Jacob Brockman, is going to offset this. So suddenly you go from what would have been a 5-on-4 advantage, and, well, they're actually still going to award it here. But that interference at the end of the play, they grab the face mask, and that puts you in the box now. So not necessarily undisciplined. You're protecting your goalie after the free shot and the offside whistle, a little late on that shot as well. But now you got 5-on-4 in favor of Aurora still, so you are still going to get the power play. Luckily, doesn't hurt them in this situation.
Head coach of the Spartans, Jason Bloomingberg, was upset with the decision. You saw him barking at the officials for a moment.
Herm, we saw it here. Once you grab the face mask, you're going to go to the box. It's an immediate.
Especially, too, with the officials right there.
Right. You would like to see him, hey, you're going to get in your face and protect your goaltender, but just don't grab the face mask, and you probably would have been fine, but that's what leads to this. Now you got another one here, more of a conversation to make sure we're good.
So it is a 5-on-4 power play now resulting in favor of the Spartans.
So it was a double. I think you're going to call a double minor here as well.
I think it was the same thing as before.
So somebody's got to serve this.
Yep. So serving the penalty is Aiden Lyons as he'll slowly skate over to the box with a half grin.
So 2 double minors for unnecessary roughness.
Most likely, but another power play chance, the third of this period for the Spartans. Ackle on the left hash mark. Opens up, they push it towards the middle, turned over, and it's kept in by Diaz. Ropes one around the boards, tied up there on the glass. They try and kick it free, and ultimately it's there. Open for Schmuck, scores! Landry Schmuck wide open inside the house, and he makes the Polar Bears pay. It's 3-1 Spartans.
Well, that's a nice goal for the Spartans. Gives them their first power play goal of the game. They're 1 for 3 now, but it starts on the outside again. This is where they find their momentum. A wide open Schmuck, and that's going to be an easy goal for him to find the back of the net. He puts it in. That's his 12th goal of the season. He leads this team in goals, and it's because of plays like that.
That is definitely where the puck is going to go most of the times when Schmuck is on the ice. His 18th point of the season.
You know, he leads this team in goals. Would you believe that's his first power play goal, though?
Really?
That's his first power play goal. Leads this team in goals with 12 now, but that's
Wow.
only his first power play goal.
Well, there you go. Landry Schmuck leading the team with 12, but his first special team goal of the season. And in a period where it was dominated by Bowdoin at the start, the Spartans have really turned it on here with 4:14 remaining.
That's a good way to put it. The first 10 minutes of this period really felt like Bowdoin had control of this game, especially scoring 2 minutes in, and now it's all Spartans.
There's a shot from the point, sticked away by Musatelli, the wrister from Jack Gilligan.
That's what the number 5 team in the country should do, though. If you get knocked in your face in the first 10 minutes, you got to respond in the final 7 or so with 3 minutes still to go in this period.
That's the expectation, at least. A little bit of a stalemate along the wall. Nobody can kick it free. Now there's a pile up on the highway, and ultimately jostles loose. That's for John Hallard. Lasered out. Quick step from Sedlicek, was all by himself and nobody to pass to as he turned it over for Jack Hepp. Bounced off the glass and down, controlled there. Bowdoin has some players in the slot. Now it's Jack Hepp. Lets one go, deflected in front as it sails up into the netting. 3:11 remaining in the first period.
That's a good chance to bring up with 3 minutes left to go in this period. First intermission, we'll have the head coach of the Adrian College Hockey Program, Adam Phillips, up here in the booth for a quick little interview. Also lets our crew know that we're doing that. I don't think we mentioned that to them at all yet.
Throwing everybody an audible here today.
Hey, it's winter break. We gotta make content.
We sure do. Will Killerin in the corner, comes out with it, nearing the net and rings the iron, and it stayed in play. He'll get the puck back, but a nice shot, just a little bit too high. Looking to get back within one.
I think you're going to see Killerin really step up here.
There's some space for Code working the middle lane. Whistles it wide. Another chance. Pad stop made by Osborne. Now to the slot again. Another kick stop and a follow-up once more from Osborne. Back behind his net. It's Jack Hepp. Throws it up the half wall. Killerin floats one and connects up ice with Dingies. Now the Spartans looking to break out of their own zone. Had trouble for a second. Now are able to do it. Diagonal feed back towards neutral. Diaz will pick it up. Skates his way around the net. Tipped for a second. Paulisian is able to move it free. Shifting move from Gilligan as it will scrape the center ice red line, and a backhand shovel from Richard Davis is taken away. Now it's Matt Weber. This is deflected into the netting, and another whistle. 1:44 remaining in the first.
Let's take a look at this crazy save from Osborne. It was in front of Aurora. With all the momentum right now, you need your goalie to really step up and make some big saves in the crease, and that's exactly what it's done. 1-2, quick with both that right pad leg. Can't ask for much more. Keep it a 3-1 game. It really, realistically, probably should be 2-1, but Osborne keeps it close, and that's all you can ask for if you're Bowdoin.
Shots 16-10 in favor of the Spartans, so it's been a high-shooting first period, really, on both sides. At first, it was the heavy favorite in the Polar Bears, and now it's turned over for the Spartans.
I would have loved to see what the here's something for D3 Hockey News. We need lines. I want to know what the line on this game would have been.
I wish I could tell you what my prediction on the projected numbers would be, but I am not a betting man.
I am not either. That's why somebody else needs to do it, and then let us just tell the story.
I wish I could tell you what the over and under means, but I don't know myself, and that might be embarrassing to admit on the air, but I'm happy that I don't, because I don't like theoretical numbers. This will go cross ice for Bryce Ballman. And now upwards for Finnegan Burke. Gets canceled out along the wall. And it's dumped in ultimately by Killerin. Couple of shifts over the past couple of minutes. Losing his stick at the blue line was Jacob Brockman. Don't know if he dropped it or had it stolen out of his hands. And now 60 seconds left remaining in this first period. Here's some speed by Hassan Ackel. Working over, open space, and they just put it wide. Looking there was Brockman, but he couldn't get the angle on the shot. Hip check in front of the Polar Bears bench. And now a breakaway. Ackel in the slot, in, scores!
Wow.
How about that move from Hassan Ackel?
I thought Gilligan was going to get back in and interfere with that one to knock it away, but Ackel is just too good, too quick, and he's able to find the puck quickly at the blue line, knows he has a chance, puts on a beautiful move, and there's nothing Osborne can do there when you see that quick deke and a move. And a little Pavel Datsyuk-esque there with the quick move back.
The patience was definitely key in that goal. Ackel's 6th tally of the season paired with his 16 assists leads this team now with 22 points. Landry Schmuck, who also has a goal in this game right behind him with 18, but that's the guy really that you do not want with the puck. Ackel or Schmuck, and the Spartans really laying it on the Polar Bears. There's a last-second rush for Bowdoin as it's whistled for offsides. 15.2 seconds left to go here in the first period. A 4-1 extended score. The last one by Hassan Ackel as we reach the final couple of seconds of this opening frame. Oh, and some extracurriculars before the puck drop. That was Gabe Schipper who let his presence be felt against Jackson Kirk. And the linesman will have to come and separate them.
Smart move. He was pestering and kind of getting the stick in the back of his ankle.
Schipper still going at it with some Spartans in the neutral zone. Handled in front of the bench. That was Richard Davis as he sent it up ice. 2 seconds left to go in the first. The horn will sound, and that'll do it for the first period of regulation. Bowdoin off to a quick start, 1 minute and 30 seconds into the game. And 4 straight, the Spartans strike and really just shove it in the face of the Polar Bears.
Yeah, can't ask for much more if you're Aurora. They did everything right after giving up that early goal, and it was 1:34 into the contest that Bowdoin got it up and scored on the power play. Now Aurora came right back and answered 4 straight, and that's exactly what you want for the Spartans here on neutral ice.
A lot of work to be done for Bowdoin College as they head into the second period. They were really playing, I felt, strong to begin that first half of the period at least, and it kind of collapsed on them. And what happened to Aurora yesterday in the second period, they decided to do here today in the first, which is just continue to score. So some D-zone cleanup possibly for the Polar Bears, but the Spartans all gas.
Exactly. This is what you want. Now you need to go into the locker room and tell yourself, hey, we can't have what happened yesterday happen today. You can't account for what Bowdoin can do. They're a good team. They can mount a comeback here. I'm going to say that. This is a good team that has the ability to score, so you have to keep your foot on the gas here if you're Aurora. You can't have a second period like you did yesterday.
Aurora University and Bowdoin College here on neutral ice from the Arrington Ice Arena. Alex Herman and Matt Kibbe up here in the booth. We'll take a quick step aside for the first period intermission and return with an interview with head coach Adam Phillips in just a few short moments. You're watching NCAA hockey on ACTV.
Bulldog fans, welcome to the home of Adrian College Athletics, brought to you by Adrian College Television. Follow us on social media to be connected to the latest broadcasts, news, highlights, and more. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. ACTV's social media handle is at Adrian College TV on all platforms. Thank you to all of our fans who tune in to support us at ACTV.
You stand today's students on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth, introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time that you will always look back on as special years. Never experienced before you arrived today and never replicated after you graduate.
The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Gotten an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, and learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome back inside the Arrington Ice Arena. Alex Herman, Matt Kibbe, joined alongside by our special guest, head coach of the Adrian College men's hockey team, Adam Phillips. Coach, you guys had a pretty good game yesterday. You took down a high-ranked team in Aurora University. You see them here now. They're winning 4-1. What did you feel like the keys for success were yesterday?
Yeah, it was. Well, first of all, it was nice to get another crack at those guys. Obviously, the early series in the November, we were fortunate to get another look at them yesterday. So we didn't have the start we wanted, but again, we showed resilience and we were able to come back in the second and ultimately get the job done and get a big win.
What was the mood like, sort of heading into that second period? You're down 2-0. You get a goal scored on you pretty quickly to start that second frame off, and then a nice Riley Murphy power play. What was the mood like on the bench? Yeah,
you know what? Even when we were down, the mood on the bench was really positive. I think, we know that we didn't play very well in the first period, but we had a great response in the second, and the energy on the bench was positive the whole game. We just knew we had to get to our game and get that first one, and then, kind of open up the floodgates a little bit.
Absolutely, and with Bowdoin playing here today, it gives you guys some early eyes at your opponent tomorrow. Adrian College has never played against Bowdoin College before. What do you expect sort of out of them?
Yeah, obviously, we always do our homework on teams and watch video on them, but to be able to see them play live today, that's another advantage for us, just to see, teams always are a little bit faster, and you can kind of get a better feel for what they're trying to do when you're watching them live. So, they started off the game really well, scored a nice power play goal, and then Aurora climbed back, so looking forward to a good second and third here out of them.
Absolutely.
Coach, when you think about a series, you guys get the advantage of being the host team. You get the day off right in between. But bringing in teams like Aurora, Bowdoin here into the AIA for a non-conference matchup during the break, why is that so important?
Yeah, I think it's just a cool little event here going on with a 3-team tournament. Obviously, a team that's ranked number 5 in Aurora, and then a team that we don't see very often from Maine in Bowdoin coming out here. So I think it creates a tournament-like feel and, almost like a little bit of an NCAA type feel. So, the game yesterday to get under our belt with the win makes today a little bit easier and more enjoyable. But we're looking forward to playing Bowdoin tomorrow.
Now, in your first year here with the Bulldogs as the head coach, you had the 3 years as the assistant coach. What have you kind of learned in your first year as the head man?
I think the biggest thing is you do get pulled in a lot of different directions. I think you can imagine what it's like to be in that chair, but you don't really know until you're going through it. There's been a number of things that come up that I've thought to myself, I guess I didn't realize that Coach Krug, had all this on his plate. But, the familiarity with the players and the program administration and the whole staff has been great, so it's made the transition pretty smooth.
We have a couple, well, not Bowdoin. Bowdoin has a very historic program, but Aurora also a young program. You're only the third head coach in program history following legends and Ron Fogarty and now Adam Krug. What does it mean to you to get that call?
Yeah, it means a lot. This program is so special. Just to have, folks here for, 7 years, Coach Krug here for 10 years, and the success of the program and from what Coach Fogarty built, getting it going, to what Coach Krug did here to get it to where it is today. It's truly an honor to be here today.
All right, I'm going to give you a chance to pitch here because this seems like something that could happen more in the future, these mini tournaments where you kind of bring teams in. Why should teams want to come to Adrian and play in these mini tournament style break in the winter breaks?
Yeah, I think one is just, bring in quality opponents just to get those good games. We feel like we have a really good venue to come play. The facilities here are great. And I think just trying to get, quality opponents coming out of break is an important thing for all teams.
So there you go. If you're out in the Northeast and all around the country, maybe out in Minnesota, let's meet in Adrian, Michigan, and have some non-conference matchups here for those pairwise that are now even more important than they were in the past, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that game last night, it was a non-conference game, so there was no NCAA, points up for grabs. But for the tournament pairwise MPI points, it was a huge game.
I'd be curious, too, if you could pick any opponents to face in a little mini tournament style like this. In a perfect world, who would you love to have come to the Arrington Ice Arena?
I don't know if I can
they don't want bulletin board material.
I think it'd be cool to, just look at some of the top teams right now. There's some teams that we've seen in the NCAA tournaments, in years past, and it'd be cool to have that kind of feel like coming out of Christmas break.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time that we have for this interview. Thank you to head coach Adam Phillips for joining us up here in the booth. Alex Herman and Matt Kibbe. We'll step aside just for another short couple of seconds and return with the second period. It's the Aurora University Spartans and the Bowdoin College Polar Bears right here on ACTV.
Bulldog fans, welcome to the home of Adrian College Athletics, brought to you by Adrian College Television. Follow us on social media to be connected to the latest broadcasts, news, highlights, and more. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. ACTV's social media handle is at Adrian College TV on all platforms. Thank you to all of our fans who tune in to support us at ACTV.
You stand today, students, on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth, introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time that you will always look back on as special years. Never experienced before you arrived today and never replicated after you graduate.
The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Got an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, and learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House. Thanks for tuning in.
Back inside the Arrington Ice Arena, 20 minutes played in this out-of-conference matchup. It's the Bowdoin College Polar Bears and the Aurora University Spartans. Alex Herman and Matt Kibbe up here in the booth. Happy to have you all rejoin us here on ACTV for more NCAA D3 action. Puck is dropped, and we will continue on here from the AIA. For those of you tuning in, Aurora up to a 4-1 lead after the first period. And they've really dominated the game since giving up that early first power play goal. And it really spun all the momentum in their favor, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of response we'll get here from the Polar Bears.
It kind of jolted Aurora up after giving up that power play goal. They kind of were settling back. Bowdoin controlled it for the next couple of minutes, and then Aurora really took over and made them pay for it.
There's a slap pass from the point. Might have got a piece on the blocker, was Jacob Osborne. Ackle will sling this around the boards. As it settles there, nobody can kick it free just yet. And finally now repositioned over the blue line. A good play from James Sarapak. But now controlling are the Spartans. A misplay there from Sedlasek in front of Musatelli. And he'll put the glove on at 18:55 remaining in the second.
So Bowdoin really needs to kind of get that offensive going here again like they did in that first period of play, that first half of the first period. So where they're going to need to get the puck to. They've had the middle open. Aurora has given them the middle, but you got to find and take quality shots if you're Bowdoin. That's something they're going to be working on here throughout the second period, down by 3.
Good face-off win by Dingies as it's bouncing around in front of Musatelli, ultimately cleared. Now it's Finnegan Burke, who will skate back towards the yawning cage. Sarapak, a fast pass for Barbaro. His backhand goes wide as it wraps around the boards. Picked up on the top by Lyons. Lets a shot go, it's wide. Barbaro tried to follow up and couldn't get it to release off the blade. Barbaro again with a quick pickup. Stick save made by Musatelli as it bounced off the glass. Shifted to the top again. Barbaro again with possession. Good stutter step as he's hit hard. Gets a second cross check towards the shoulder from Kirk. Takedown in open ice on Ballman. There's some more pushing and shoving going on towards the far side. This is fluttered all the way down the ice. We'll see if Burke gets the win, and he does, as they're awarded icing. We'll take the faceoff back to our left.
It was close. That was a good race for the puck down on the other end, but you can see it. They're letting the puck get a little deep, but they're realizing that Aurora is just going to clear it, so they're keeping 3 guys back, only having 2 go into the corner on that forecheck play. So trying to find that middle zone. Aurora doing a good job of keeping the defense back and not allowing Bowdoin to really find that groove to get puck movement. It's got to be quick shots.
Hunter Fedorov tied up on the circle as it's picked up and still skitters around. There's a shot from the point, wide to the blocker of Musatelli. This is lofted towards the wall, tied up there. Broken up by John Hallard as he goes for a walk. Glove down, kept in. Big reverse hit in front of the bench from Jack Hepp as he flattened his man. Now back the other way in the defensive end of the Polar Bears. Horizontal pass for Killerin, who had some good shifts in the first. Now a rush on the wing. Hepp, he's in, no shot, resulting in that play. And a hit into the bench on Chase Schmidt, as now it'll go for a change. Osborne is forced to hold it with the glove.
I was going to say, Jack Hepp is 6'5", 220. There's not going to be very many people that can take him down in that. That's a brick wall.
Those are the times where, for the Bulldogs at least, you wish you have Iodinier on the ice, another large individual.
I think the Texas Stars, I believe, right? Or is he down with?
I think he's with the Allen Americans.
Allen Americans.
He's
He's somewhere in Texas.
Yep. Somewhere down there, but
they're very thankful to have him down there now.
Having a nice pro career for himself. Somebody we miss dearly up here in the booth. This is turned over in the slot. The Polar Bears on possession just for a second. Look out, a flying hit there is sent on Justin Wright as he went full Superman on that play. Got taken out in his leg area. This puck given up for Ackle, almost skated away with it. Puck plays ping pong as it goes back and forth between both sides. 16:21 left to go in the second. It's the Spartans who hold it behind their own goal. Moved for Code as he lost it at the last second. Now a rush for Davis. Davis on the backhand. Blocker save. Musatelli, another rebound there. He's pushed into the cage, and it stays out, but 2 great stops on the doorstep. Bowdoin College right there. Nice couple of plays over the past couple of minutes on both of these sides. Some hard hits as that just finds an opening behind Osborne. Doesn't get a piece of it, but it was wide. Pulled up at the blue line is Diaz, taken down. There's some room, and here comes Schipper. Forced to dump it in, full line change for the Black Sweaters. Turned over on the blue line, picked up by Sarapak, lets one go over the cage. Spinning a shot there, that was number 16 and Michael Dingus. Shot from the point, deflected by a skate blade in front. Sarapak has it, goes to the wall and Dingus. Now the point for Killerin. One-time slap shot, couldn't get enough. Matty Worrell looking for a big blast, but can't get it. There's a feed there, takedown on the play. There's going to be a penalty called. It's likely going to be tripping. Osborne racing back to the bench. Gets there as the whistle is blown down. And Bowdoin College 1 for 1 already on the day, will get their second power play opportunity.
Not very often that you need it this early in a contest, but you'd really like to see a goal here. I believe this is the big save from Michitelli in front of that. No, I'm sorry, that was the trip in front. So it was right at the blue line on the way in, and you get an opportunity now. You scored previously. You got to do it again here. You got to set up your offense here and find those openings and take quick shots.
So a 2-minute chance now for the Polar Bears. They work to the outside lane and cough it up. Now a shorthanded break. There's Sedlasek in on net, takes out Osborne, throws his hands up in the air to make sure that everybody knew it was never intentional.
It's a penalty kill for Aurora that has not been feeling 100%.
There's a shot from the point, tipped down in front. Musatelli got the deflection and closes the 5-hole. Spartans will clear it back down and get their second PK unit out.
In this weekend, if you will call it that, 6 power plays so far for the opposing team, 4 goals.
Not a good weekend for the PK units for Aurora, but looking to do a little bit better here on this one. So far, so good. As 60 seconds ticking by on the tripping infraction. Lifted down and worked to move over for Ackel. Almost a shorthanded cross crease. Now 3-on-2 developing towards the left side. Now the middle. They let a shot go and it's blocked in front. Quick passing from the Polar Bears, but nothing resulting.
For a moment where it felt like the extra pass wasn't needed.
Lions tried to pitch it through traffic, and it's resulted in a clearance. James Sarapak goes for a rush, shaking around one man, now 2. Still on the hunt with 18 seconds left to go. Right point, D-to-D pass. Now Lions could have shot, but tried to give it over for Sarapak. 7 seconds left to go in the penalty before Aurora back to even strength. Osborne tapping his stick to our right, now back to 5-on-5, but they scored just as the penalty was expiring. Will Killeran finds an opening and a great wrist shot from the blue line.
I told you in the first period, Will Killeran is going to have a big game, and it's because he gave up that goal. He was the one that caused it a little bit of an interference. Now he's going to answer back here. Stepped up, basically a power play goal with the 5-on-4, but just an absolute howitzer from the blue line to get this game back within 2. You can't ask for much more if you're Bowdoin, and hey, first goal of the season.
Will Killeran, like you mentioned, only 2 points this season, that being his second, his first goal on the year. And great patience from the blue liner to just outweight everybody and pick his spot far blocker side. So the Polar Bears cut the lead in half. It's now 4-2 with 12:17 and counting. And back the other way are the Spartans looking for a response. Lisbeth moves it over, no shot there. Back towards the right circle. Again, it's Lisbeth who's controlling. He'll feather a pass towards the corner. Blocked by Abbott. Fedorov steps in for some contact. There's a good look from Lisbeth. Polar Bears will swing this around the boards. Stopped promptly by Barbro. Now it's Bedard with a couple of stick handling moves. Shoves it deep, and getting there is Abbott. Pushed up the wall and out. And the Spartans doing a great job on when the Polar Bears clear the puck. They're the first ones to the loose ones.
That's where that speed comes in when you're the number 5 team in the country. You typically got some really good athletes.
There's a shot,
wow.
And it squeaks 5-hole. An awkward goal, but Jackson Kirk finds the back of the net, and it's 5-2 Aurora.
Take a look at it here on the ACTV instant replay. This is one that Osborne would love to have back. It just squirts in front of the net, and not much you can do when you're not ready for it. That's why you just take shots. We talked about it earlier, Alex. This Aurora team doesn't care if it's a quality shot. They want to take the shots and force the goaltender to make a save. Osborne doesn't, and they get that 3-goal lead back.
Sometimes when you just start shooting, eventually you'll find the twine, and that the case right there. Osborne was expecting a fastball and got a changeup, and it slips through the wickets. 5-2 Spartans as they get their 3-goal lead back. So for 2 days, the Spartans have gotten to 4 or more in a row.
I mean, it's a team that averages 4.5 goals a game. They are one of the best in the country at putting pucks in the back of the net. So if you're Bowdoin, I mean, that's kind of what you expected. You knew it was kind of going to be a little bit of a boat race in terms of trying to score goals.
Polar Bears looking to turn it on and crawl their way back in. And a hard hit as falling to the ice was Finnegan Burke. Got hammered by John Hallard, and I think it'll result in a penalty.
You know, I really like this call. I think it's a smart call with how this game has been going. Sometimes in different games you might let that one go a little bit, but in a game like this where they've both been really chippy with each other, that's the right call. Kind of tried to step up, and you see that a lot on breakaways. The defenseman will just step up and try and make a play, but that one, puck was already gone. The goalie was basically touching it at that point. So get a power play here, and now you need to do what you just did last time, and that's score on the power play, or maybe a second after again, just like the second goal of this period.
So the power play on the last try was unsuccessful, but they scored as time expired on it. So technically, 1 for 2 on the day. This is the third attempt now for the Polar Bears. Good cutting edge move by Shipper. Everybody over the blue line. Shot from the point, goes wide. Bounces off the backboards. Redistributed for Shipper. He'll turn. Top of the key. There's a shot. Blocked in front. Some friendly fire that hit off the backside of Ballman. And scooping it up is Bedard. He'll backhand it out. Canceled out by the glove of Barbaro. Some shifting moves in front of the blue line by Bryce Ballman. As everybody tumbles to the ice. And a loose break. They try and move it towards the middle and tipped away. Without his stick, soccer kicking it there is Lucas Sedlasek. And there's going to be another penalty called on the play. I'm assuming it'll be some kind of slash or interference. And heading to the box, that's Isaac Abbott. Interference is the decision.
Yeah, not much you can do there. I mean, you launch the stick up into the air, you're going to go sit in the sin bin for a couple of minutes. You're going to open up the ice here, 4-on-4.
So a minute and 1 second of 4-on-4 time until the Spartans will get a power play, barring any changes. This is shoveled in deep. Ackle turns on the Jets to get to it, comes up empty-handed. Will Killerin starting the breakout, gets a whack on the shin pad, shakes it off. He's loose in front, still fighting for it. Got a backhand to go, but hit the outside of the apron. Turning up the other way, Hassan Ackle crosses over the blue, onside, bouncing around. Now on top of the crease, it's swiped out of the way by Osborne. Holding on is Diaz. Goes across the lane for Schmuck. Back up top for Condor. Back for Schmuck. No room for him to make a great pass, so he just threw it to the opposite side. Trying to hit the E-break was Diaz. Did a little bit too much. Osborne was holding on to it. They blow the whistle as he started to play it off for Killerin.
Yeah, he's going to try and take advantage of seeing Aurora take a line change there. You know, I was going to mention this. They go on the power play now, but that 4-on-4 really felt like it was at the benefit of Aurora, and they kind of proved it, keeping possession the entire time we were at 4-on-4. Now they got a little less than a minute on the power play, trying to extend their lead.
1 for 4 today are the Spartans. Similar numbers to yesterday. And the Polar Bears will definitely have to defend now. Jackson Kirk Up top, walking in, giving right back to him. Mathis Bedard holds on in the near side corner. Meeting of the minds, squirts loose, diving there, trying to keep it in. Was Kirk, but couldn't get it done. Again, this is played over the blue line into neutral ice. Now off to the left side wing. Toe drag move. Holding on is Broda. His shot swallowed up by Osborne.
And still got 15 seconds to work with, so you bring on some power play, the second unit here, if you will, and still enough time to set off the face-off and work your power play here, and that's what you're going to see from the Spartans. They're going to try and get it quickly back and then open up from the outside and collapse in front of the net. They're looking for just any opening. They're going to take a shot. They don't care if there's a whole lot of traffic around the net. If they have a lane to the goal, they're going to take that shot.
To your point yesterday, we saw them do exactly that against the Bulldogs, where Adrian College was sort of more passive to the inside and just didn't expand, and that's what gave so much space on a couple of occasions to the Spartans, and they were able to strike once on it.
If you give them a little bit, they're going to take as much as they possibly can. They're really smart in their offensive zone.
Shot block from P.J. Neal almost resulted in a fast break for him.
That's that Wayne State style of hockey that Coach Jason Blumenberg had when he was in college.
Friend of our former head coach here at Adrian College. And Coach Krug. This is delayed offsides, and there's an arm up as well. And I think Bowdoin's going to get another penalty here.
You know, we talked about it back in the end of the first period of play. It looks like it's a roughing call. This officiating crew, they gave them a leash. These two teams kind of took advantage of it, and now they're seeing some of those pesky calls that maybe you wouldn't see in some other games. They're going to start seeing those now because they kind of took the leash and ran with it, and that's what happens with the officials told them exactly what was going to happen, and now they're reaping what they sowed.
Whoa, look out there as that puck was ripped into the Aurora bench. Almost took out head coach Jason Blumenberg. Hopefully he's okay.
When you're a Hobie Baker finalist, you're not getting hit by that puck.
6:48 left to go in the second period. 2 seconds coming off of the power play for the Spartans. Looking to get it done here again, as they've only gotten one goal on the special unit. There's a slap shot and a great glove save. Blasted by Landry Schmuck. And watching it all the way in is Osborne.
Yeah, great glove save for Osborne. Can't ask for much better when you're having to slide across the crease like that and see an opening. Again, Aurora, they're going to move the puck. Once they have that open lane, they're going to take the shot. Osborne knows that and got into the right position to make a save.
Definitely looked like he got an early head check on it and sort of read that play left to right. As the power play efforts continue on, that's tipped out of the way and deflected into the bench again. The faceoff will remain in the offensive zone for Aurora.
Herm, you can check me if you'd like, but Aurora's power play is arguably a very simple power play. They just want to move the puck, and they're going to take shots. They're not necessarily looking for an Ovechkin-type play in the faceoff circle. They just want to move it and take shots. It's simple but effective.
It's controlled chaos,
right,
if you will. I mean, if you continue to shoot, eventually you're going to find something. And they're a high-shooting team. They outshot the Bulldogs yesterday by almost double the shots, I want to say. And they're doing it here again today. 22-16 are the tallies up on the scoreboard.
They're 11 shots away from their average per game, so they still got 25 minutes left to play.
Never a bad thing when, as a coach, you can be confident that your guys are not going to be scared to just rip the pill. Bowdoin looks to clear. They're able to do it. It'll settle back in neutral ice and moved over quickly by Diaz. Good step up there from Jack Hepp. 42 seconds remaining. Going for a skate is Ackle. He's got room, and a great stop by Osborne. It was almost a parting of the seas for Ackle.
Bowdoin just really opened up the middle and let them have it.
Not a player that you want to give that
No.
center lane to. I mean, prime scoring area.
I mean, unless I'm thinking maybe Osborne said let him go, but why is Osborne saying that?
Ackle with a good backhand. There's a shot from the top of the circle that just settles wide. Santa Lucia with that attempt, and a bad pass from Brockman will be sent back the other way. 3 seconds left before time expires. And now another good look. Working this over, slapped away by Osborne. Was a 2-on-1. Now in front again, Cage was open, but nobody there to catch the pass cross crease. Sent all the way down the ice. Musatelli is forced to stop it and get the whistle. We'll take the face-off to our left.
Power play expired, so Aurora 1 for 5 now on the afternoon. You know, who's somebody we haven't talked about, Ben Goody, who is the head coach for Bowdoin. It's his third season at the helm. He's a graduate of Maine. If you remember, back in 1999, the national championship against New Hampshire, Ben Goody scored a goal. He also has 175 games at the NHL level, so a really experienced coach to take over a very storied Bowdoin program that is really looking to kind of get on the cusp and get back into the NCAA tournament. They've only made it 7 times as a program, even though they've been playing since back in 1922.
Well,
I got trivia for you coming up.
I've been waiting for that. I've been thinking about it. I thought it was coming there,
No.
so you got me nervous for a second, but I was going to close the thought with, especially as a player, it's likely probably pretty attractive when a former NHLer is a coach and he's trying to recruit you, just because they have such a plethora of knowledge and really just a fountain of information to try and give to the entire roster.
Really put together a good squad here. Maybe the score doesn't reflect that here yet, but this Bowdoin team is good.
Here's a wide shot off angle from Shipper. Lost his balance in the process, but Musatelli covered it up in the chest area.
This still isn't even, like, for Coach, for Goody, it's not his team quite yet. He's still got a couple more recruiting classes before it's fully his, but you can really see how his class and the former class are really meshing together and building here for this Bowdoin Polar Bear team.
I think that's a story for a lot of these collegiate teams nowadays, building their programs. Everybody's just getting so much stronger. Oh, and an open net for. Looked like that was Shipper, and it might have gotten tipped in front. Was that Jackson Kirk who got a piece of it?
Either that or Michitella got right back and got the paddle on it.
There's another cross-crease chance. Nothing going again for them, so 2 great opportunities for the Polar Bears, but they just can't find a way to get it to go. Still down by 3. With 3:28 left to go in the second period. Digging forward is Sarapak, as he sends a flying shoulder. Picked up on the dot, sent towards the front, bouncing around in the slot. Sarapak looking for it in between his legs, gets a shot off, but it was wide. Now ripping one cross ice. That was Lyons, and another drive there, not near the goal crease. Michael Dingus turning there, shrugging save by Musatelli.
Let's take a look at this save by Musatelli, and let's see if we can slow it down here in front. It's coming back. The paddle, I think, is what made the save, but this cross-ice pass from Bowdoin is really good. This is exactly what they want to do on the offensive setup. It's a wide-open net, and it looked like it did hit off of the defenseman right in front. That's number 25, John Hallard, who got a stick on it, and maybe it was going to miss wide a little bit, but that's an incredible play on a movement from the puck that has been really quick from Bowdoin here in the offensive zone.
That's a type of play that'll get you bonus points from your coach, defending the goal right in front in a danger area. And that's a last-second decision. Here's a turnover. Now towards the front, bouncing around. Spartans couldn't find a shot in the process as they lifted off the boards. Chasing down is Fedorov. Here's Landry Schmuck once again, denied entry because they were offsides. Spartans make some substitutions as it's punched in. Backhanded off the wall by Gilligan. Burke will get this to Fedorov. Dumps it in. Now it's the Polar Bears who switch their lines. 2 minutes left to go in the second period. 5-2 score. Right here from the Arrington Ice Arena. Last game of the weekend. Although it is now the week, I should say, for the Spartans. Played yesterday with the Bulldogs. Bowdoin will play again tomorrow against Adrian College.
It's the weekend. Nobody's working.
We're on December break right now. I'm still in vacation mode.
Least productive day of the year.
Simon Diaz handles. Gets motored into the wall. Has some flying bodies going around. Some stick taps on both sides. Bowdoin just looking to control and get out of this frame as they're really being hemmed into their defensive end. Worked across the way, stopped along the wall, fluttered out. Up at the center logo. Tipped away, less than 60 seconds remaining. This is on net. Musatelli will escort it aside. Long pass intended for Wheel, or rather that's Keaton Lipset. As this is bouncing around, Osborne went to cover it, but it continues. Cross ice pass in the feet of Wheeler. It's a shot from the outside. Hits the goal cage and is moved out. Soft dump in play. Picking up the boots is Weber. Takes his guy out in Abbott. 15 seconds left to go here in the second. Polar Bears clear it out. Dumped back in. Osborne out of his crease to stop it. Looking forehand. Almost had it taken away from behind him as it was sent out of the zone. 1 second left. And that'll do it for 2 periods of play. So another tumultuous frame, but now a 5-2 lead for the Spartans as they hold on to 3 goals ahead.
A good period for the Spartans again, but Bowdoin, after getting the answer, just quickly gave it up, and you can't do that here in a game like this against the number 5 team in the country that's really good at scoring. When you score, you can't let them answer right back, and that's what happened here. Could be a 2-goal lead, but Bowdoin gave up that goal, makes it back to that 3-goal lead, and that third period is going to be a difficult climb here for Bowdoin. But the bonus for the Polar Bears here is the last 5 minutes or so of that second period, they really showed what they can do offensively. They just didn't get rewarded with a goal, but they were moving the puck, had Aurora back on their heels, and really made some good decisions. So now you got to translate that after this intermission and turn that into some productivity and get back into this game.
I feel like another key for victory, at least for Bowdoin and really Aurora as well, is you got to stay disciplined here. We talked a big deal about how the officials are policing this game, and they're not afraid to call stuff. So you got to stay out of the dirty areas and keep it clean if you're going to remain 5-on-5, because we saw a handful of penalties in that second period.
Yeah, you got to stay out of the box and play hockey. And that's the best you can ask for here. And Bowdoin knowing they got to play tomorrow too, so you don't necessarily want to empty the tank with some aggression and cause any majors that could have you sitting tomorrow against another really good team in Adrian. So have to be smart here in the final 20.
40 minutes gone here. 2 periods played, 1 left to go in regulation. Aurora University and Bowdoin College at the Arrington Ice Arena. 5-2 the score as we head into the third period. We're going to take a quick step aside. Alex Herman and Matt Kibbe, don't go anywhere. We'll be back. You're watching NCAA hockey on ACTV.
Bulldog fans, welcome to the home of Adrian College Athletics. Brought to you by Adrian College Television. Follow us on social media to be connected to the latest broadcasts, news, highlights, and more. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. ACTV's social media handle is at Adrian College TV on all platforms. Thank you to all of our fans who tune in to support us at ACTV.
on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth, introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time that you will always look back on as special years, never experienced before you arrived today, and never replicated after you graduate.
The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Gotten an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House. Thanks for tuning in.
You have earned the right to be here through endless nights of studying, testing, writing, and dedication to learning. The diploma you will receive symbolizes your efforts and distinguishes you as a highly educated person, learned in the arts and sciences, and prepared for a life of achievement and great accomplishment.
Now, as you face the world outside this academic haven, the concept of courage must not be left behind in your textbooks. It should be as alive in you today as your ambition to change the world for the better.
We were all born to be a Bulldog. Life drew us to this school, these people, and this tiny town. You were meant to be here to make a difference and to grow within yourself for the better. But what does it mean to truly be a Bulldog? Well, to scratch the surface, the students of Adrian College are anything but ordinary. The pride, grit, perseverance, and passion is absolutely unmatched. Good luck and congratulations, class of 2024. And know that today is yet another Bulldog victory.
Hi, I'm Aubrey Morgan, the current student government president here at Adrian College. I chose Adrian College because of the campus size. Campus feels like a fun, energetic community where everyone knows each other. If you want to see what Adrian has to offer for you, you can schedule an in-person visit at adrian.edu/campus-visit.
Welcome to Adrian, Michigan. We're located in a proud college town. Adrian College is situated just 45 minutes from Ann Arbor, Detroit, and Toledo. We're very excited to show you just a little bit of what AC has to offer. This is the gateway to our campus. Welcome to the place that we believe will change the rest of your life. AC features one of the most well-rounded educational experiences in the country. We offer over 60 different academic majors and 10 academic institutes, as well as dozens of student organizations. Year after year, we've been ranked as one of the nation's best colleges, including being one of the most innovative institutions in the U.S. for our medical programs. Our campus is simply beautiful. Our student-to-faculty ratio is an incredible 13-to-1. That means more attention for you and a much better overall learning environment. We know how to put together an education that is life-changing, and these are just some of the highlights. From our communication arts program, to our many performing arts, to the home of business on campus, to our sciences and medical studies, we have the spaces where you can grow into the professional that you want to become. Our first-year student experience is award-winning. You'll make lifelong friends here, meet mentors, and maybe even meet that special someone. The Kane Student Center is open 24 hours a day, and there's a lot going on here. The Bulldog Beanery has all of your hot drinks. Pause and Go is our on-campus convenience store. The bookstore is where you'll get all of your Bulldog gear, and you can just hang out and study in the skyboxes. Not far away is the Shipman Library. The Shipman has quiet, relaxing spaces for you to study in. You can check out books from thousands of libraries around the country, and the Shipman is open 24 hours as well for your convenience. There are hundreds of learning opportunities on campus. In addition to the arts and beautiful facilities, Adrian College is known for its athletic programs. There is nothing like a Saturday game day here in Adrian. The Bulldog football team are 11-time MIAA champions. At Docking Stadium, fans watch soccer, lacrosse, football, and more. Just a few hundred yards away, Adrian College's basketball teams compete. In addition to basketball, fans can enjoy wrestling, acro and tumbling, and volleyball here. We also have a state-of-the-art weight room available to all of our students. When things heat up too much on campus, you can cool off with our ice sports. Our NCAA ice hockey teams are constantly battling in the national playoffs. Just a quick walk down the service drive, we feature one of the best baseball and softball programs in the nation at our level. Soon you'll be able to cross the street and watch men's and women's rugby take to the pitch as well. Our rowing, crew, and top-ranked bass fishing programs compete out of the Adrian College Boathouse, a gorgeous facility just a 15-minute drive north on Devil's Lake. Our students know how to relax in their downtime. When they're not out and about, we have dozens of housing options on campus. With apartments right in the mix of things, you can pick what works best for you. We've also recently renovated a few of our housing options. Adrian College is a Methodist-affiliated institution that has been changing lives since 1859. The modern liberal arts education offered by our faculty is unrivaled. We can't wait to have you on campus and show you around. Visit adrian.edu to schedule a full campus visit today. We'll see you soon.
Are you looking to become a future Bulldog and get recruited by Adrian College? Do you display characteristics of tenacity, drive, and determination? With over 50 teams on campus, there are plenty of opportunities to further both your athletic and academic career. For all recruiting inquiries, head to www.adrianbulldogs.com and click on the Recruit Me tab at the top right of your screen. Your future with the Bulldogs is closer than ever.
Welcome back inside the Arrington Ice Arena. Third regulation frame between Bowdoin College and Aurora University. Alex Herman and Matt Kibbe up here in the booth on ACTV. Happy to have you all rejoin us here for this last period. For this out-of-conference game, two teams meeting for the first time in a strange place to meet as well. Neutral site way out in the middle of nowhere here in Adrian, Michigan.
It's a smart move, though. If you think about it, it's a good way to get a good quality opponent that you don't normally see. I do think, we talked about it with Adam Phillips during the first intermission, but I really do think you're going to see this become a little bit more of a staple in D3 hockey.
It should be. And Musatelli sends a long pass up for Ackle, who was cherry picking up at the blue line, almost got away with a breakaway as the Polar Bears caught in a change. But to finish your thought, I agree with you. I'd like to see more showcase style, I guess it's not really a tournament, but more games like this.
Nice save. That was on the line. Almost found the back of the net, just barely. But I'm gonna keep talking about this because I think it's a really interesting point. But you can see teams like this is a rare moment where I think this was originally supposed to be 4 teams. They couldn't find a 4th team, and so on a late notice. So Aurora was already going to be here, but so you get the non-conference NCAA matchup. But if you have 4 teams, you get a little bit of a round robin still. You can play 2 quality opponents as opposed to, or 3 quality opponents over the course of 3 days, or 4 days really, get a day off in between. There's ways to do it, but you can see teams like Augsburg, and I'd love to see like a team like Trinity make the trip out here, and you meet the West Coast and the East Coast and put them in the middle, and you get some really good games.
Got to think of some creative names for a trophy for that kind of tournament. Some wordplay going on, but you never know. We could go on for hours about that to try and find the right name, as this is sent back the other way for icing. 18:39 left to go in the third period.
Call it the Bulldog Invitational, playing for the 223 trophy. I don't know.
We'll find the marketing for it at some point.
Every team's going to learn what 223 is.
Yeah.
I mean.
The 223 Cup doesn't sound bad. Trip on the face-off as we continue on. Couldn't hold on to it was Jack Hepp.
Stevens Point. I'm just thinking of other. Stevens Point come out here. I mean,
listen, you could have Stevens Point. You could have Utica come out. You could have Hobart come out. I mean, you could have some really solid teams come right here in the middle. And it's nice that Michigan is sort of central because there are some teams that are a little farther west that could travel this way.
Icing gives us more time to talk about this. But this is like a really good central point, and the bonus, now Adrian only has the one sheet of ice, right? But the bonus is you're at the time of the year where all the other teams, there's 7 hockey teams here for folks that aren't familiar with Adrian College hockey, but those other teams are not here. They're either on the road or they're off for winter break, so it's a really good opportunity to not get rusty in that long break that all these teams have to deal with.
There's a squeaking chance in front, almost found the back of the net. Musatelli might have gotten a piece of it at the last second. Bowdoin College down by 3, just looking to scrape their way back into this game and come away with something. There's a slap shot from the point. Doesn't get off with the full speed it needed to reach the net. Now Chase Schmidt will lift in. Gilligan ripped it around the boards as it settles there on the half wall. Glove down and tipped out. That was a stick of Giuliano Santalucia. Osborne couldn't handle it as he went out to play it. Sent back towards the Aurora blue line. And they'll move it forward. A big hit there in front of the bench. Jack Gilligan. A lot of times we're seeing Bowdoin hits right in front of their own bench. Imagine some kinds of nice, kind words being exchanged at those moments. And here's a 2-on-1 chance. Looking to thread a pass. That was Justin Wright, but he couldn't get it through. And there's another trip play there. I don't think there was any intent behind that. Riley DeCounty was falling down in the process and took out his man. Looked like that was Finnegan Burke. Pushed off to the side. Dirty dangle from Matty Weirl. Looked like he was going in stride to make a hit, but came up short. And this is broken loose for Keaton Lipset, who's all by himself. The big man looking for something in front, tries to send it to the slot and taken away. Back come the Polar Bears. Taking their time, they're on sides, they cough it up. Lipset went one knee up to try and bounce it out somehow, and still nobody can control it. Some sloppy play there on the top of the blue line.
If you're Bowdoin, you got to start trying to just start taking shots. You're not going to find a perfect opening, so you got to kind of play the Aurora's game right back at them.
Musatelli shoved into the net as he'll recover there, and this is going to be called for a tripping. Will Killerin got tangled up in the neutral zone with Matt Weber, and another chance on the power play for Aurora.
Well, he was trying to make a play on the puck, but his arm got tangled up with the defender, and that led to the tripping call, and an easy one for the officials. So now in a game where you're down by 3, and we talked about it at the end of the second, you wanted to avoid penalties. This one kind of hurts you a little bit. Now you absolutely cannot give up a goal here.
6th time that Aurora has been on the power play. Only one power play goal to show for it. Hassan Ackle lets it go. The rebound was there, but nobody in front to pick it up. Swung around the boards.
Number 17 on the backside, that's Landy Schmuck. He's the one that scored.
Schmuck's one-time rip. Glove down by Osborne. Didn't squeeze it fully, and now he scores. Landry Schmuck again strikes on the power play, and it's 6-2 Spartans.
That is a beautiful goal from number 17. He already has 12 goals on the season. Now make it 13 in his second power play goal of the season and of the game. Can't ask for much more than walking down from the faceoff circle and just going up top shelf. It's easy to beat a goaltender when he's down, and that's what you're seeing a lot of players do nowadays. They're goes in the top side of the net and going right over the shoulder. That's what Schmuck did. It's a nice goal. 13 goals for Schmuck on the year.
6 goals on 27 shots. It has not been an easy day for Jacob Osborne. Has made a handful of really nice saves, but unfortunately not getting as much help as he had hoped for on the defensive side of things. And Aurora really flipping the script from their efforts yesterday as they're playing so far more of a complete game.
Well, we said that they needed to play a full 60 here against Bowdoin. It's a tough game, especially coming off of a high emotional game against a rival in Adrian. And Aurora has done everything they've been asked of Coach Blumenberg. You can't do much more than score 6 goals and potentially counting here with still 15 minutes left to go in the game.
That puck rainbows in the air, touched up by Bryce Ballman as he goes to change. This is way up ice, and you hear the signal from the bench to Osborne for him to cover the puck. It was Riley DeCounty who was nearing him.
So now Bowdoin has to get ready for tomorrow against an Adrian team that plays a much different style of hockey compared to this Aurora team. So for Bowen, you really get a chance to kind of see different looks, play a different style, and more so get ready for your conference season and push in there. But these games are these are battles, these are tests, these are something that's going to sharpen iron for you.
Doesn't help, too, that Adrian College getting a day of rest.
Right.
They did have a morning skate today where it was lighter in intensity, but certainly things for them to work on in their session.
It feels like there's not much to work on when you score 5 straight in the second period. But, there's always something, especially at this high level that is Division III hockey. Everybody's looking for improvement somewhere.
This goes cross ice for Jack Hepp. Lassoed around the half wall. Tipped off the boards. Musatelli watches the shot right into his glove. He'll hold on. 14-10 left to go in the third period. It really feels like this first 6 minutes of the third have sort of dragged out a little bit. And I feel like at least towards the tail end of that second, it was the same way as well.
Yeah, the pace has really kind of slowed down, especially for Bowdoin. They're trying to be selective with their shots, so when they get possession of it, they're really not too worried about it. I also think you're seeing Aurora just elect to clear in some situations as opposed to going after it like they would have in the first period or early in the second period. They're just electing to clear, and they'll let Bowdoin chase. If they want to play it, they'll play it. If not, they'll take the icing. They feel like they have the legs around the back end of their 2-game set, so they don't have to worry necessarily about tomorrow as much. They get to head on back to Illinois tonight.
That's definitely a long bus trip no matter what. Just about over 6 hours. 2 shots there, easily handled by Musatelli. The first off the blocker, the second holds on in the chest. And I've done that trip out to play Aurora before, and that's a number of hours and a time change where you're just sitting waiting to arrive to the destination.
A little Geneva convention, if you will, out in Aurora.
Offensive zone draw for the Polar Bears. They're able to win it back. Killerin going to make a play. Not given a lot of room to work with. Sent up to the point. There's a snapshot by the stick of Gilligan. Looking for space as Keaton lips it. Knocked off the glass and out. Scanning is Blake Condor. Big hit in open ice from Killerin. Kicked out of the way, tied up in front of the scorer's table, now jostled loose. They flip it sky high, it's stick down. I don't think there was any contact. Lips it. Fires a pass up ice for Weber. Weber's looking towards the net. His wrist shot stopped by the path of Osborne. Kept in at the blue line by Santa Lucia. There's a lane for Luke Wheeler as he was free. Shut down on the entry. Swung back towards the corner. Looking behind his shoulder is Bedard. Takes out his man along the half wall. That was Richard Davis. Jack Barbro can't get it out. Spartans continue the offensive pressure. They cycle the zone. Stick play by Code. Reworks it back down low. Underneath the red line. Chase Broda will circle the zone. Miscue on the pass there. As here come the Polar Bears. They've got odd numbers. Now it turns into even 2-on-2. And the Spartans make quick work of that play. Big step up there on Riley DeCounty as he got hit hard to the ice. Long home run pass intending for Lions. He can't win the race, and the icing is called. 11:44 remaining in the third, 6-2. Aurora over Bowdoin.
We're talking about travel time to Aurora. I mean, you want to double it and give it to the next person. It's 13 hours from Bowdoin in Brunswick, Maine to get out here to Adrian.
I think the advantage, though, for Bowdoin is talking to some of the players in the lobby before the game. They did fly from Maine out here, likely into probably the Detroit Metro Airport.
They did have the Bianco transportation provider for Adrian College Athletics sponsor us.
I think they are sponsored.
Well, they sponsor the athletics. Sponsor ACTV.
They should sponsor.
They can be the
ACTV.
official travel partner of Adrian College Television. There you go, Josiah.
When we need to go on the road, that's what we're going to look for to do.
Bianco.
Maybe
we can call it the drive of the game and presented by Bianco.
The drive of the game. That would be good for football. Drive of the game.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, we've got good ideas up here in the booth.
I'm going to start charging for this.
Charge a finder's fee.
The flight is a nice little easy, about a 2-hour flight from Maine to Detroit Metro, and then they hop on the Bianco.
There you go. Slap shot is blocked up from the point. That was Schultz who let it go. Spartans maybe almost got caught with too many men as there's an open lane for Sedlasek. Drops back. Awkward shot behind his body from Kirk. Well off the target. Spinning back. Now it's Fedorov. Good tip up at the middle by Sarapak. Tries to take it away from Musatelli. He's able to do it. Stopped it with the skate as he went to rim it around the boards. As this puck tipped up into the netting. And we'll get another stoppage. 10:47 left to go in the third period.
Aurora really kind of getting back into their offense, realizing that, you can still play a little bit. You can learn a little bit about yourself here. After Bowdoin really kind of controlled the first, I know they scored the goal, but about 5 or 6 minutes there, it was all Bowdoin. Aurora kind of took the reins back there for the past 3 minutes. Now you got to play defense.
Shot from the dot gets blocked in front. There's an arm up on the play. It's going to be a penalty against Aurora. They'll finally touch up. Simon Diaz will freeze, and slashing is the signal. And Landry Schmuck saying, "Is it me that you're sending to the box?" And Bill Jones says, "Yes, it's you."
Bill Jones, one of the best officials. I think every player that comes through Adrian, especially on the Adrian side, when you see Bill Jones during warm-ups, you're getting a high-quality game. I see it at the high school level as well. He's a official all around Southeast, Southwest Michigan, and not just for college hockey, but one of the best, and I think he knows.
There's a timeout that's being called by the Polar Bears, just looking to draw up some strategy for this next power play, but a good time to look ahead at the two schedules and kind of compare and contrast what they have ahead of them. For Aurora, their next meeting will be at Lake Forest College, Tuesday, January the 7th. And then 2 games against Marion, which are home and home, but hard games for sure. And Concordia University of Wisconsin to finish up January. Concordia really stunning a lot of people right now. They've been playing some solid hockey.
The NCAA just continues to get better. One thing I do want to note, that Lake Forest game, another non-conference NCAA foe for Aurora. They've already played their 2 conference games against Lake Forest, so that's what you see there. But that's a good, oh, you know what? You go over the schedule, but get to February 1st for Bowdoin. We'll get to some trivia here that I've been holding off on.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about that. But February 1st will be Colby.
Yep.
And that's a home NESCAC game. But the other games before that, Bowdoin has Southern Maine, Hamilton, Amherst, and Trinity. Those are definitely
hard
no
games.
slouch opponents. So they've got their work cut out for them. But the start of the power play, so we'll let it run for a couple of seconds and then get into some Matt Kibbe trivia, which I'm very excited for.
We'll let him clear it, then we'll go with it. Because this power play is really good for Bowdoin, so I don't want to.
Oh, wow, look at this.
Take away. Oh, wow.
6 on 4 now. Bowdoin has pulled their goaltender in Osborne to get an extra attacker. And this works sort of in the favor of Aurora because there's no icing, and they can just throw it to the open goal.
Say whether this is interesting from Bowdoin. Down by 4, you kind of get a chance to work on some things, but also find some momentum. That's a tough slide.
Yep, Gabe Schipper bit his edge. And there's an empty net for Jake Code, puts it wide. Handled at the top of the blue line.
If you're Bowdoining, you know the net's empty. You can't be slouching around. You got to move, get to the puck.
Polar Bears look to set up in the offensive zone. Isaac Abbott on the right corner of the blue line is tangled up. Now down low, spinning off the play is Wheeler. There's a one-time shot from the point. Good save by Musatelli. He'll hold on. 1 minute and 10 seconds have gone by.
Be interested here with 50 seconds left. You get the change, but do you want to send the goaltender in Osborne back out knowing that you're realistically in these power play situations under a minute, you're probably not going to get a stop outside of the power play.
Oh, look at this. Bowdoin just took a penalty. Richard Davis got called, I think, with unsportsmanlike conduct. And that's going to cancel out the power play, and it will force Osborne to head back to his cage.
That is. I would be curious to see what he said because that's.
Yeah, it looked like he was going back to the bench, and the official didn't like something.
So just unsportsmanlike. Well, wanted to get to trivia, and then we get all this chaos.
So 4 on 4 for the next 42 seconds and counting. Spartans set up. They work it to the middle and score. Giuliano Santalucia makes it 7-2 Spartans. And we're going to get a goaltending change as Jake Fillion is going to head to the net to replace Jacob Osborne. And that's a tough bounce.
Bowdoin struggled with keeping the middle open here today for Aurora in some questionable areas, and that's what happened there for the Spartans. That middle was wide open going to the slot. That's high percentage chance to score, and Aurora does exactly that. They're a team that averages 4.5 goals per game, so 7 is not out of the ordinary for this team.
Just looking at their schedule, they have a handful of wins over 5 goals and against some good opponents too. Last weekend, or not last weekend, but the last weekend of games that Aurora had, they swept Hamline University 8-2 and 4-1. So not unfamiliar territory for the Spartans to put up a lot of numbers on the board.
This is a program that has been building and building since their first year back in 2014-15. And they've been getting better and better every year. There was a time where, in comparison, we're playing here at Arrington Ice Arena, but Aurora had never beat Adrian in 22 games. And then suddenly, a couple years ago, they started to pick it up, and they've become one of the best programs in the NCAA. They don't have a regular season championship or a Harris Cup championship to show for it. They don't even have an NCAA tournament berth, but that is coming. That is coming for this Spartan
team. They've been
team.
very close a handful of times. Very, very close.
Think about it, back in a couple years ago, they made the championship game, but that was when Adrian was on one of their runs, and that's where you see the difference. It was an 8-2 victory for Adrian in the Harris Cup championship game, and now Aurora feels like they are back on top of Adrian after getting the 2 games earlier this year and then just dropping the one yesterday, but in a close affair. It's a team you don't want to see in the postseason. And I'm going to keep talking, Herm, but there's a chance that this is the team that an NCAA opponent's going to see in the NCAA tournament. With how that tournament's set up, there's a good shot that 3 or 4 teams make it as at-large bids on top of the automatic bid.
Yeah, I mean, you look at last year, Bulldogs had to play St. Norbert to advance to the semifinal round of the NCAA tournament, and that was, I think, the 5th time they saw him. But here's a break for Bowdoin. They rip a shot, and it goes wide to the glove of Musatelli. There's another drive from up top. A second chance, whistles wide again. Polar Bears just cannot find a break. But to your point, yes, I do believe a lot of these NCAA teams have the chance to see each other in the tournament, just with the way that things break out statistically with the pairwise standings and then whatever happens in your conference playoff.
I don't think anybody will see them in that first round, right? But that quarterfinal round, it's a high likelihood like you could see an NCAA national championship. It's going to be like Division I football when you see an all-SEC national championship. There's a real possibility of that this year with teams like Trine, St. Norbert, Aurora, Adrian.
I mean, those are 4 teams all in the top 10 ranked nationally.
Right.
So you have to imagine how much longer they're going to hang around that standing. But here's Jake Code working in, scores! Jake Code goes underneath the glove, his 2nd goal of the day, and an 8-2 score now with 6:07 left to go in the 3rd.
That's just a tough one for a new goaltender coming in and not being really used to these quick shots. Fillion just getting challenged immediately, and it's a hard shot to stop, but when you're not warmed up, it's a little bit of a harder one to swallow there. But a good shot, though. A good shot from Cody to put his 2nd of the game and his 2nd of the season.
Not an easy blast as a shooter to let go. All of his momentum really shifting to his left, and as a right-handed shot to push it back towards the far side, and was able to find an opening and take advantage. And that's a shooter shot right there from number 10, Jake Code.
You want some Bowdoin trivia?
I'm ready for some Bowdoin trivia.
All right. I'm going to ask you this. I kind of gave you a little bit of a hint, but what would you say is the longest rivalry in NCAA Division III hockey? And I'd argue in all of hockey, at least in all of Division III sports, not just Division III hockey, but what would you say is the longest running rivalry?
Well, I have to assume that one of the teams is Bowdoin.
You would be correct.
So I'm 1 for 2.
Yep.
But there are a lot of
I gave you a hint.
You did, and I'll have to think about who it was because I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue. Was it Colby?
It was. Now, when would you think that series started? You got to stop it here.
It's got to be sometime in the middle 1900s, maybe early 1900s, right?
Yes. Warm.
Can I get a?
Some would call it roaring.
Oh, so it's got to be the 20s. Wow. Is it the 20s?
It is.
Okay. I don't think I can pinpoint. I mean, I have 10 years to guess from.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I'll give you 1922.
Wow.
The game that started back in 1922, they played outside for the first, up until about the 50s. The game was always outdoors, right? They have played 222 times.
Is that the highest series between 2 college teams?
Yes, it is. And
at any level.
It will be the 223rd on February 1st. That's why I wanted to bring it up. They host that at Bowdoin.
That's fantastic.
222 meetings all time. The series record, Bowdoin leads 111 to 103.
Ooh, that's close.
And only 10 ties.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Hey.
I mean, you got to dig all the way back to find that.
There
so
were
kudos
some
to you for
New
that.
York Times articles.
It has to be. What were the newspaper articles back in the 1920s you could probably find somewhere online?
They wrote in transatlantic accent.
Wow.
There was some good
It
stuff.
wasn't Times New Roman yet.
You know, it really got put on the spotlight because, remember the lockout back in 2012? Well, fans of the NHL were looking for some hockey that they could watch and just kind of keep watching the game. Well, when there's a lockout in the NHL, what hockey's kind of left around the country? NCAA hockey, right?
There you go.
This game kind of got highlighted. Now, they used to do it where it would be back and back, and it would be a home and home on back-to-back days. But in recent years, they've kind of split it up so that it's a standalone game, and it turns into a student. Students go to this game. It's mainly like who who fills the arena, if you will.
Now, my next question is, was the NCAA around at that time?
This was going to be my fault. I had this trivia ready for you.
Wow. Okay, I'm on track.
Now, this is so the NCAA was around for not a majority of it. They were kind of playing the games. But there was a conference that was around that Bowdoin used to be a part of that is now exclusively a Division I conference in New England. What conference is that?
Well, it's not going to be the NESCAC.
Nope. Here's a hint for you. It's always been a D1 conference. It's now only a D1 conference. It's the only conference that sponsors both full teams at the.
Oh, look out here. I don't think this went in. Musatelli is down in pain. We got a scrum going on. And you can hear from up here the penalties starting to be assessed. Everybody seems like they're all right as we were going through our trivia.
Hey, I mean,
but there's still action going on. There's a broken stick. Somebody must have snapped that in half.
Not what you necessarily want to see in a game like this. If we have it, I guess we can take a look at it just to make sure we see. They're still jawing at it. 19 and 14. That's Denoe and Barbaro. It was just an extra whack, and we talked about it as everybody's going to defend their goalie when they get in a situation like this. I think there might have been, and they're still talking.
And 16 is going to get thrown out. Michael Dingus gone from the game. So 2 to the box for Aurora. There's 1 in there right now for Bowdoin. I'm sure they'll have to have somebody serve.
We talked about this. You got to avoid the game misconducts because you play a tough team tomorrow. So you got to start being a little bit smarter if you're Bowdoin. This is just the frustration kind of boiling over. It's an 8-2 game. You kind of want to get back into it. So you're going to see 4-on-4 hockey, it looks like, for the next couple of minutes. But 3:18 left. There's not much we can say.
Yeah.
There's really not much we can say. That's exactly what happened.
That's tough. And at this point, you kind of just hope for the game to wind down clean and everybody drawing together in the penalty boxes. And some choice words from both sides. If we had a mute button, I'd probably hit it for a couple of seconds, so I'll just try and talk loudly over it.
And the problem is they got rid of some glass here at the AIA, so it's very easy for these teams to now hear each other. Let them talk a little bit. That's still a couple minutes left, so you get 4-on-4 hockey, right? Just kind of play it on, and hopefully you don't have any stoppages for the next couple minutes. Let's get out of here. Nobody gets hurt, nobody gets suspended, and we play tomorrow.
There's a rush for Aurora, heading up ice with some steam as Kirk's in, 5-hole, scores! Jackson Kirk again is second. Multi-goal games for 3 players for Aurora. 9-2 lead, they're up by 7.
Wow. Yeah, it's another quick shot and just went 5-hole. Again, it's hard when a new goalie comes in, especially late in the game, and you don't get a chance to kind of see these players and how they shoot, so you get a quick, easy shot, and it's one for Aurora.
And it's especially tough for Jake Fillion, the second goalie for Bowdoin today, to come in really after your team appears to be deflated and a hard deficit that just continues to be extended.
Not a game you want to fill in for. You got a conference? You got a ton of time to think about it.
I'm going to guess, I don't know, the only conference I could think of maybe is Hockey East?
Close. It's Hockey East formed because of some issues with this conference.
Okay. Well, I got my guess, so I'll let you fill in the blank.
The ECAC.
Oh, okay.
Is the conference that Bowdoin was originally part of. That's when you had major colleges and just colleges. So they actually played in what was the Division III version of the ECAC, as what we would consider now. And then there was the major conference. That was where you'd have your Vermont, Bostons, the Ivies, and all that good stuff that are in the ECAC right now. Hockey East formed because the Ivy League had some issues with that conference. So Bowdoin left and then joined the New England Small College Athletic Conference.
Gotcha.
Sticking to their roots. They brought a couple schools from them with the ECAC, and that's where we stand now. So there's your trivia.
There you go. Spin move at the blue line from Finnegan Burke. There's exactly 90 seconds left. Bowdoin finds a way to cash in on a rebound in front. It's Bryce Bowman gets one back late here in the third, and it's now 9-3.
This is something that Bowdoin has been trying to set up really all game long, and they finally just started firing pucks at the net. Rebound comes out. Similar to how they scored their power play goal way back in the first period. Quick off the pad of the goaltender, and Bowman just, again, in the right place at the right time, able to slide it in and get a goal.
Minute and 29 left to go here in the third period. My hopes is that this will end peacefully for both of these two teams. Bowdoin still with the game to play tomorrow right here at the Arrington Ice Arena at 3 p.m. You can catch that game, of course, right here on ACTV. I will be on the call for that one, back with Ian Wentz, a joint broadcast with WLEN. But I will say now, and I'll say it later, Matt, we appreciate you coming on and filling in when we need some help, and it's always been a pleasure to be on the mic with you.
Always glad to do it. Always glad to. I love this rink. I think it's one of the best things in all of Division III hockey and really all of NCAA hockey. It's a lot of fun to come back here and call a game with our incredible crew here today as well on a winter break short staff. I don't miss it. I'll tell you, I don't miss the short staff of winter break.
Hey, but it's got to be done. 30 seconds left. This is dumped in, clanks off the boards. Picking up is Will Killeran. Whistles it to the boards. Long pass up ice, off the target. And they call this down for icing with 19.3 left to go.
They got to follow the rules. If it's icing, it's icing.
I would have just let that one go, to be honest with you. It was sort of a tie-up on the foot race, but we keep it by the book here.
They're getting their money's worth.
Defensive zone draw for Bowdoin. Worked around. Scary rebound in front. It's loose. Cleared to the top of the point. Bumped back to the flank. Shot gets shouldered away. 5 seconds left. This is open on a short angle. Shrugging save on the blocker. Another follow-up. It's called for a high stick. With 1.6 left to go in the third period, we'll get one more face-off and then the final horn. But a couple of nice saves there for Jake Fillion.
Be curious to know if that's who they're going to go with tomorrow after the performance today. And normally, Osborne is their guy. He started the most games, 5 of them, now 6 of them today. They'd only given up 13 goals coming into this one. So it'll be interesting to see the decision that Ben Goody and the rest of the staff come up with for Bowdoin here in the game that happens tomorrow.
So a pure domination win for the Aurora University Spartans, who get one back on the weekend. They'll go 1-for-1 in our mini showcase here from the Arrington Ice Arena. A 9-3 victory for them over the Bowdoin College Polar Bears. And that was certainly a fun one. It was interesting to start. Goals back and forth, big hits, everybody playing strong, and the Spartans really just running away with it in the third.
The Spartan team's number 5 in the country for a reason, and they certainly play like it. They kind of got punched in the mouth early on in the first period and then did not look back after that. So this team is really good. You're definitely, I'll say it now, I know we're in December going into January, but this is a tournament team. You see a lot of those teams come through here at the Arrington Ice Arena. We've seen them in the postseason. You've made the trip to the Frozen Four. I got to make a trip to a Frozen Four. This is the team that you would see in a situation like this. It's a really good Aurora Spartan team, and it's exciting to see where they're going and where they came from. This Bowdoin team, nothing to truly hang your head on. That's just a hard game to have, and you got to do it again tomorrow. So short memory.
9 goals on the board for Aurora. That's the most they've scored this season. They've had a game against Wisconsin-Stevens Point where they scored 7. Last time they played before the break, they put up 8 on Hamline and now 9 on Bowdoin College. So their weekend is done. They'll head back to campus to start their week. Bowdoin College will need to get a lot of rest to face another tough opponent tomorrow in Adrian College. That puck drop at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Adrian College TV. And they're going to have a lot of work to figure out overnight if they're going to stay in a close one with AC, I want to say.
Yeah, they will definitely be trying to figure out some things. They'll be watching some film. I think there were some positives here, but if you're going to look at one thing that I think they want to work on is close the middle on the defensive side. They let too many chances happen for Aurora in that slot area, and when you're going against a team that's number 5, number 7 in the country, they are going to take advantage. If you leave that little slip in the middle, they will find it, they will shoot, and more often than not, they're going to score. So if you're anything, you want to work on keeping the puck on the outside and not letting that middle be a wide-open chance for your opponent.
One more game tomorrow, Bowdoin and Adrian College, right here at the Arrington Ice Arena. But from all of us up here in the booth, Dakota Schneider, Forrest Vernier, myself, Alex Herman, and my partner in Matt Kibbe, thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. Aurora wins this one by a score of 9-3. You've been watching NCAA hockey on Adrian College TV.